What's up, man? How you been?
Yo, good. Thanks.
What are you
How
up
have you been?
to? I'm good, man. I am
Good.
just staying warm. I'm in Chicago right now. As you can see, there's not any green trees behind me.
Yeah.
Um, but where are you at right now? Where are you in the
Uh,
Phoenix?
I'm at the Oregon coast in Warrenton.
Okay.
So yeah, just getting ready for the last stage of the refit for my boat until I cross the Pacific Ocean alone with my cat. And I've never sailed outside of a river before, so there's that piece of information for you.
Have you sailed out yet? Like since you made it to the coast?
I haven't since I got to the coast. No, I haven't sailed at all. I've
Okay.
uh I've just been completely doing this refit. Like my boat, I couldn't even take it sailing right now if I wanted to. Um, so, but yeah, it's just been I've just been completely consumed with this refit, and it's been nonstop. But like I wake up every day and work on the boat, edit videos, go to bed, wake up, work on the boat, edit videos, go to bed, and just that's literally what I do 7 days a week.
Do you just keep
And
adding to that list and checking stuff off
to the,
slower than you're adding it?
keep checking stuff off. Yeah, I'm nothing's been really added. I've known what I've needed to do. I've just been checking off the list of things because I'm not like I could take my boat to Hawaii right now and it'd be fun. I could have done it when I first got to the coast, and just basically just installed the hydro vane, which I haven't installed yet, which I'm gonna do when I do the haul out. But like I could have gone to Hawaii right now or right when I got to the coast. But the reason I'm doing all of the stuff that I'm doing to the boat is because I'm not stop like I want to get everything done. Here it's cheap. I have my car, so I can drive to the store. I can just focus on this, get the refit completely done, and then when I get to Hawaii, I'm not done. I want to sail around the world. So right now I'm doing all of the things I need to do to prepare my boat to be capable of continuously, crossing oceans, and
Yeah.
not just Hawaii. And I don't want to do like the refit in Hawaii or part of the refit in Hawaii because it's so expensive.
Right. Yeah. To get everything over there.
Yeah.
Um, well, how many more days you got till you're set and sail?
Uh, 55, 55 days because I'm doing a countdown
55.
on my Instagram and TikTok.
I've been watching it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been sending you some emojis at certain fire numbers, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, man, I love your content. I love watching it and everything.
Thanks, dude.
Let's circle back a little bit to see like what got you actually where you are right now. When did you
Yeah.
start sailing?
So I bought the boat almost a year ago. So basically, by the time I leave, it will have been just about exactly a year since I've purchased it, since I jumped into the like this life. So yeah, I've been sailing for like I don't know 7 months,
Right,
and
right.
just on the Columbia River. So I'm like a total super noob, and my as far as my knowledge is very limited. So like, I think that's kind of the where I've gained a bit of traction because it's kind of it's an odd thing I guess to be crossing an ocean and be as inexperienced as I am. 3 years ago, I think I was sitting down watching a YouTube video and I was watching, I was a habitual YouTuber watcher,
Yeah.
and I was watching YouTube and I saw some guy leave California on his like 20, I think he has a 28-foot sailboat, and he sailed from Hawaii or from California to Hawaii, and that was Sailor James. And I was like, I looked at my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, oh, I'm 100% gonna do that. And she was like, no. And then my ex broke up with me, and then I've worked at Discount Tire for 11 years, so I did that from when I was like straight out of high school, and then right around the same time I saw that YouTube video. So I was working at Discount Tire like a dog, and I always had really bad neck pain, and I just completely put it off. Always just avoided it because I don't like going to the doctor. And finally, it got so bad that I went to the doctor, and they told me that basically my cervical spine is it's worse than somebody who's over like 115 years old, and it's completely riddled with like deformities and like all I don't have any discs in between my vertebrae. So they're all deformed and
Are they
like
like
grinding on each
fused
other.
together?
Some, yeah, they're all naturally fused. There's some that are loose, which are the ones that put me at risk to going paralyzed. There's two specifically that when I look up, it slides out, and then when I look down, it slides forward. So like it's the bone that's sliding on itself. So I can
Yeah.
feel it. It's constantly like crack, 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 crack. And
Huh.
so like that happened, and like that completely just turned my world upside. Because I went from being like, when you're, this was like 3 years ago, and so I was like, I don't know, 24 or something at the time, 25. And at that age, like I had gone my whole life thinking I was like absolutely indestructible, and then that just like was ripped away, and so that just turned my world completely upside down and just made me like completely reflect on life. And spending 65, 70 hour weeks working a job that I didn't really like. And then after making the realization I didn't really like it, I absolutely hated that job. Like I hated it. I hated it. So I was showing up to a grind every single day that I hated. And dude, I like, at the time, my neck pain was so bad, so like I got the diagnosis. It's called Klippel-Feil syndrome. So it's like a super rare condition. And I got the diagnosis, and like immediately after going to the doctor, I like increased my pain levels 100%. Just
Wow.
like mentally, like because your
Uh-huh.
brain is just crazy. So my pain levels increased 100%. I was literally at work, and like I would like clench my teeth and be like sweating in pain. And I think a part of it was due to the stresses of work, because it is that job is an incredibly stressful job, and only people that work for Discount Tire
Can relate.
understand. Yeah, can relate to how absolutely insane that job is. And I was going through that, and I tried to do this before, and I was like, man, I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have any obligations. I'm working a job that I hate. Why don't I just like chase my dream and buy a sailboat, sail around the world? And I completely psyched myself out. I thought too far ahead, and I started trying to plan everything out, and I couldn't even figure out how to buy a sailboat. And then I just um, discouraged myself completely from doing that. And then like 3 years goes by of me just trying to like just trying to find a way out, but not knowing how to find a way out. And um, literally just like partying on the weekends, and showing up to work the following Monday and just having a miserable week because I'd partied all weekend, and having just a miserable existence, and trying to find my way out. And like, but I couldn't, because the way it was like, dude, I'm gonna quit this place and I'm making good money here, and then I'm gonna go work another corporate job, and I'm gonna hate it, and I'm just gonna make less money, and
Right.
it's so I was just I felt super trapped. Like I was like, I don't have an option.
Golden
And then
handcuffs.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I was just, but I was so miserable, like so miserable. I think my neck, honestly, I think what happened with my neck, like that accelerated me to feel that way. Like it accelerated that whole process. Like I didn't, because I think there's a lot of people that are like 40, for example, now feeling the same way I felt, but they're 40.
Right.
So I think my neck just like accelerated that process completely. And dude, I was so miserable, like the most depressed. It was crazy. I'm not like a depressed person, but dude, I was for like a solid 3 years. I was like really depressed, and like couldn't sleep at night, all the things. And so if anyone from my social media sees this, I don't think I really ever talked about it that much. But the thing that completely, and I'm not an advocate or anything, don't do or listen to anything I say, because I'm an idiot, and that I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm not saying anything I do is the right. I've done so many bad things, so I'm not saying anything I do is the right thing or the right way. But the thing that absolutely changed my life and turned my world upside down was one day one of my friends, for my birthday, gave me an entire ounce of mushrooms, like an ounce of mushrooms, like a giant bag of mushrooms. And I had known about like the healing property. I'd done mushrooms before, but not like in a healing sense, but kind of just in the party scene, I guess. but at this point I was miserable. This is almost gonna be so. My birthday's March 12th, so this was almost a year ago that this happened. And I got home from work one day, and it was like the sun was just. So I got home from work, and I was just super depressed. I had these mushrooms, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take all the eat the entire bag of mushrooms. And so
That's a
I
lot of
ate the entire
mushrooms.
bag. Dude, it was and it's I don't know if you've ever had mushrooms, but they are disgusting, man. They are so gross. And what I did was actually got I went to McDonald's and got a bunch of burgers and stuffed the mushrooms in the burgers and started eating these burgers. I had like
Oh
five
wow.
burgers. It was gnarly because they're so gross. But yeah, and I absolutely lifted off and went to the moon and was the craziest, wildest experience I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I saw a bunch of crazy stuff, and I saw like a lion roaring at me, which I saw all the crazy things. But
Wow.
what I got out of it when I started coming out of it, or at least during the high, I guess I just started to make all these realizations that like, dude, like it's so simple. Life became just so simple. And I just made the realization that I was like, I just need to do what I want to do and nothing else, and that's it. And just absolutely get out, do the thing that you want to do, and it is so easy. And that's what I got out of it. And I literally, so the next day I show up to work, the guy comes in and he's wearing a jacket with a sailboat on it, and I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, you sail?" And he was like, "No, I used to build boats." And I was like, "Oh, my dream has been to sail around the world." And he like stops and he looks around and then he looks at me and he goes, "Well, what are you doing here?" And my mind exploded and I was like, "Oh my God."
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then I my brother convinced me to start logging everything. So I took this crazy cringy video. This was like the next day, and I put it on TikTok. And I tried to save. I never used TikTok before, so I tried to save it as like a draft, which is what I thought I was doing, and ended up accidentally posting it and showing up to work the next day with because the way TikTok works, I didn't know. When you post it, it syncs with every single person in your phone. So that video got sent to all of my bosses
Oh
who
god.
have TikTok.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I called my boss, and I was like, so am I fired? And he was like, well, we're gonna have to have a meeting about it, and we'll let you just go back to work. We'll let you know by the end of the day what we decide to do. And I was like, oh, I'll make it easy for you. Hung up the phone, and then just walked out. Right, and that was that was like 3 days after the mushroom trip, one day after the talking to the guy, and then I just left with no backup plan, nothing, no money, nothing at all. I had no plan. I was totally just abandoned my job
Just day
after
by
11
day.
years. Yeah, and then started this mission at the same time I was looking for another job, and started a mission to buy a boat. And so I spent the next 30 days after leaving my job. I found this boat and bought it. And also, exactly the time I bought the boat, I got another job.
Wow.
Um, yeah. And then, yeah, I don't know how to make this short. You know what I mean? But so yeah, I got the boat, started working the other job, and then I fully dived into social media as well. And I did this other job and absolutely um, robbed them of their money. Like I literally, dude, I didn't do a single thing for this company, and
But
I spent my entire day making videos for social media every single day. And then at the same time, I would come home, work on the boat, and then on the weekends, I was sailing. And I did that for like 7 months, and somehow survived 7 months at that company. It was absolutely insane that they let me stay that long. Um, but then got fired, and which was all kind of like a part of the plan. It all just worked out really well because I got fired, and then because I knew I had to come down to the Oregon coast for this last stage of the refit, and I needed all this time because I'm doing so much stuff to the boat. Like this would take what I'm doing to the boat would take. I think the average person does it over the course of like 2 or 3 years, um, and I'm fitting it all into like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
So
that's
I was
nuts.
like, I know, I knew it couldn't be working. So I, like, right after I got fired, I sailed to the Oregon coast and just started this mission to get the boat outfitted. And yeah, that's long story long for you.
And you've been filming it ever since.
Yeah, I've just been filming, and it's been a ton of work.
Yeah, I believe it. But I mean, hey, you put good content out there. You're fun to watch. People
Yeah, I
are
don't
you're
know.
just
It's
everyone's got a microscope on you now. Everyone's watching
yeah,
everything you do.
yeah, I know. Which is fine. Like um, there's no you. I see a lot of these accounts, a lot of these sailing accounts and stuff, and no hate or towards anybody or anything, but a lot of them are like a lot of them are just like annoying couples, and like just like all ditzy about their sailing life and stuff,
Like
and
they
it's like,
started
dude,
with
that
van
sucks.
life. They started van
Yeah,
life and then they're like, "All right,
yeah,
we're done with that. Let's go to buy a
yeah,
boat."
yeah, yeah. Good luck. It's good. Let's stick with the van, man,
Yeah, yeah.
because this is a ton of work. So make no mistake about it. This life is not easy. There's nothing about this that is easy. It is an absolute insane amount of work, and
But you see those
but
guys and where were
yeah,
you going with
like
that before
it's
I
just
interrupted?
everybody or everybody knows what they're talking about. Like they make it so complicated, and it's like it is complicated, but like, dude, if I can do it, literally anyone can do it. And so like I just try to be like 100% myself as much as I can, um, and I try not to be annoying. I guess I try and just be real. I guess it's there's a difference with my social media and my like YouTube. My YouTube's definitely much more like um, raw. I
Yeah.
basically don't edit I hardly edit the YouTube videos. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I would say you're very authentic. You're
cool.
not trying to like hide something. If you don't know something, you're clearly not. You're
Yeah, I don't
pretty
know
open
anything.
about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
I
that's
don't
great.
know
I mean,
anything. Yeah,
because what I see when I watch you on YouTube or on Instagram or whatever, I see like I see something that I could do, right? You're making it me feel like, oh,
yeah,
if I could do or if you could do that, then why couldn't I?
yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, anyone can do it, and that's cool.
yeah.
And it's a total bonus for the social media has been like all the people that have reached out and like uh said all basically what you said and um for some find inspiration in my content, which is great. Not something I expected at all. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that, and
Yeah.
that's been a total plus. Super cool. Um, but yeah, my fear is that like people try to gain an education from my stuff, and because I know I'm doing stuff wrong, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like don't. I just have to constantly kind of express don't listen
Put a little
to
clause
me.
in each video being like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
not boat
yeah. If you do what I
mechanical.
say, you will burn your boat down. So don't.
Yeah,
But I
that's
am
fair.
taking it really seriously, and like, although I know I am taking an unorthodox approach to all of this, and I do take it seriously. So I don't know. I think I'm doing all the right things, at least in my ability. Um, and also there's no rules. If I wanna learn how to sail over the course of a year and then cross an ocean, I can. There's no goddamn rules. I can do that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, you put up your own mental barriers and in
yeah,
life whenever you want to, whenever you set a goal.
yeah, exactly.
So what, you got 54 days to go?
55.
What do you have left to do?
A bunch of like little things, but the major things are I have to install my new windlass, which I have. I don't know if you can see it's on that project table. But yeah, I have to install that, which is going to be quite the task. And then basically like as far as the major things, it's just a haul out at the end of this month. I think on the 24th, I have to do a haul out, sand, paint the bottom, and then during the haul out, I'm gonna install my hydro vane, and then
Okay.
some little things in between as well. But that's
So,
basically it.
so are you on track? There's
Yeah, oh
no
yeah.
delay
My
in it?
plan has been to for the last month, I'll have 1 month to shake everything out because I'm doing all this stuff to the boat. Something has got to go wrong. Something has to break. Something has to break, or whatever. And so I'm leaving in May, and so I the plan has been to have all of April to go sailing, just go sailing and see if I can break stuff, and so that I'll figure out what's wrong with the boat before I leave, ideally. I'm sure something. It's not what will break on the. It's not if something breaks on this passage. The question is what will break, and
Yeah.
something will break for sure. But hopefully it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, yeah. No, that it's gonna be a trip and a half, man. So what are you gonna do once you get out to Hawaii?
So when I get to Hawaii, my plan is to find a job. I do have one lined up that I don't really want to do it because it's selling mattresses, and that would kind of suck. But
It is a job
I've got
though.
a yeah, it is a job. I've got a brother that lives there that would hook me up with that job, but I will get a because I'm doing all of this on credit cards. Like all
Okay.
of this is getting pulled off by credit cards. I've paid so like the hydrovane's all paid off. Like I paid that cash for the hydrovane, and so by the time I get to Hawaii, as long as I've calculated everything correctly, I should have about $5,000 in credit card debt. Um,
It's actually not
and
that bad. I
no,
thought it, based on how much you're doing and everything, I'm like, oh, that's
yeah,
a surprising low number. I
yeah.
think most Americans
It's
are
I
in
mean,
at
as far as
least
the amount of money I've put into the boat, it's going to be about 30,000. But I did a lot of
right.
saving and paying. Like I dude, when I was working at that job, I I I still am on the same like grind as far as but like dude, I didn't eat anything. Like I there's something I want to say that I shouldn't say. But yeah, I'll have to leave that one off. But I'll tell you later.
All right,
But
all right.
dude, I wasn't eating anything, and I was just eating rice and beans, and just grinding, man, saving every single penny, putting it into the boat. And that's what I did, and that's how I. So I had some cash that bled over to this the last
Right.
stage of the refit, and I knew I was gonna get into debt. So I found a credit card with a year no interest, and so I have a year to pay that off before interest hits.
There you
But
go.
yeah, my plan hopefully it might be a little bit more than 5,000, but hopefully roughly 5,000 in debt by the time I get to Hawaii, and then work wherever and pay that just do the same thing and absolutely sleazeball my way through another job and work, pay it down as quickly as possible, and then save as much as quickly as possible, and then French Polynesia. And as far as like how I figure all that out when I get to French Polynesia, I don't know. Hopefully social media works out. I have no idea,
Yeah.
but I'm winging it completely. I know one thing. I will be sailing around the world for sure. Um, and I won't be the first to do it, but I'll be the worst for sure. I'll be the worst.
No, I'm sure the skills you're about to develop are going to be astronomical, especially once you get as far as Hawaii. You'll definitely
Dude,
have a
it's
little
so
water in your
much
boots.
learning. Like I constantly have brain pain. Like brain constantly hurts because I am learning so much like during this refit, and I'm basically gonna learn how to sail on the way to Hawaii. It's just kind of the plan there.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know how to use a hydroplane. I don't even know how it works, but I know I'm gonna bolt it on
Hey,
and figure it out.
yeah, you'll have to
So
figure it out. So that's for
yeah.
sure. Well, how do you like the Oregon coast? What have you been doing since? I mean, you've just been working on the boat, sun up, sun down, 12 hours a day, basically.
Yeah, I haven't
You're like,
gone anywhere eat or anything. Like I haven't even, yeah, I've just gone to Harbor Freight and to the marine store here, England Marine, and uh, Fred Meyer's.
Have you been there
That's
like
it.
100 times, that inland marine store? Like, do they know you by name
Yeah,
and
I,
everything?
I go there every day, like 2 or 3 times a day. I'm there every
Yeah.
day, dude.
Just get
And
a
that's one thing I didn't factor into the budgeting was all of the little pieces and parts and components. Like
hmm
factored in all the big things, all the big item. That's why I think it might go a little bit over. It might be 5 to 7 thousand in debt just because of all the little like connections and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like just
yeah.
stupid little things that are outrageously expensive.
Right, those little
Um,
pieces that are like
yeah,
something that someone could probably 3D print in their basement would be like two hundred
yeah, yeah,
dollars, just a
yeah,
little piece
yeah,
because it's so
exactly.
custom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's I didn't factor that in at all. But
Well, you seem very organized, and
no, dude, I am so disorganized. It's insane. It's That's like the worst part about it is dude, I am firing from the hip at everything. Like social media, um, boat projects, dude, I am winging it 100%. I'm so disorganized. It's a legit problem. Like it's wild.
well, you're big
But
picture
like
organized. You're like, okay,
big
this
picture
month.
organize. Yeah, I have a plan. I have a
Yeah.
plan. I have somewhere I'm going to, and I'm just fucking winging it on the way there. Like I am firing from the hip on the way there, and I think that's the way to do it. I guess it is incredibly stressful because I don't have the skills to organize things, and I think if I did, it would be much easier. But I've just been tackling projects, everything every single day. Like I'm not trying to like space things out or whatever or plan the project really. I'm just what's next. I complete
Yeah.
it. What's next? I complete it. What's
hmm
next? And I figure if I do that as quickly as possible, and it's worked out because I should be done by the time I get the hull out and I bolt on the hydro vane. I should be done with everything. And so I've surprised myself in how quickly I was been able to do it. But I didn't know if it was even going to be possible because I didn't know my plan was not to leave. My plan was to sail to Hawaii next year, a year from now.
Yeah. I remember you
And
mentioning
then
that.
when I got fired, I had this like realization. I was like, oh, I can if I work really hard and I get weird with it and creative, I can leave in 6 months at the time when I got fired.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck it, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna gun for 6 months. And I didn't even know if it was going to be possible. I just announced it. I was that I'm going to leave in 6 months, and then just literally have just tackled everything as quickly as possible. Dude, I'm going weeks without showering. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know the last time I showered was,
Just too
because
busy.
I'm a crazy person. I've turned into a crazy person. I'm losing my mind. And
Well, as
yeah,
everyone heard right here, Oliver doesn't have a girlfriend. So, ladies, there's
yeah.
he's
Oh yeah,
open.
yeah, dude. Good luck. If you want to be my girlfriend, good goddamn luck. I
Get
think I'm gonna be
used to
single forever.
get.
I would be, I'm hard, I would be, I'm hard to be in a relationship with, just because just all over the place and
Have you had
like,
girls slide into your DMs?
yeah, 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 yeah.
You're like, oh
I
yeah,
haven't, I
uh,
haven't capitalized on it,
yeah, yeah,
just because straight up, I don't have time. Like
yeah.
it's like I don't have time.
No, you got a
That's a part
mission.
of the reason too is like why I don't think I would at least for a long time. I don't know. Who knows? You never know. But I'm not like looking, but I'm not opposed to it. But I just don't have time. I don't have time to go on a date. I can't pay for a date. So
Strict
if
budget.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And so there's that. And also I feel like it'd be really weird filming myself. I'm like socially awkward, and I think filming myself would be uncomfortable and weird in front of somebody. You know what I mean? I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
And obviously, I want to continue to do this,
Just something
but
new to get used to. Well,
yeah.
in this whole project though, one thing I wanted to ask you, like, what has been like your biggest fear of this whole project? like that you've been doing? And
Of
don't say failure itself or something like
yeah,
generic like that. Give
no,
it a
I'm not.
thought.
I'm not
But
gonna
I mean,
fail.
like, what is like what's your biggest fear? I guess even like if it's just like the crossing to Hawaii, what's the biggest fear there? Or getting down the coast, or just completing certain projects. What do you feel is like your biggest fear right now as you're sitting there and looking it in the face?
Um, I don't really have a lot of fears, to be honest with you. Like, I don't spend a lot of time on it. Like for because a lot of people ask me if I'm nervous, but I'm not because I'm sure I will be before like right before I go. I'm sure it'll all come crashing down. And but I don't think about it. I'm so busy. I
Yeah,
don't. My brain doesn't go there. But I would say my biggest fear is um, literally sinking my boat. Like honestly, that's probably my biggest fear is getting to Hawaii and fucking smacking a reef.
yeah,
that would be that would suck. That would be my biggest fear. And I think it's a good thing that it's my biggest fear because it will mean that I'll be um not I'll be very vigilant to make sure that doesn't happen. Because I'm pretty conservative when I sail in general. Like I I I try to never put myself in a compromising position. I have put myself in a few compromising positions, but I try to never do it. Um, and the reason how you get there, and I'm sure everyone tries to not put themselves in compromising positions, but how you get there is by messing something up, or something goes wrong. So I try and always have like a plan. Um, if something goes wrong, or I've tried to run a lot of scenarios through my head. So because of that fear, I think it's a good good thing that I fear that because I do think about it. So
yeah.
yeah, I'd say that. Um, and then yeah, I don't know. Uh, yeah, sinking my boat. I think
Sinking your
final
boat,
answer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you like contacted other people that that have made these crossings and kind of gotten like advice or picked their brain or anything?
Uh, I I I don't know that there's been any particular person that I've reached out to, but there have people that have like the another plus to the social media is like I would say like 70% of my followers are like sailors
Yeah.
that know what they're doing. And dude, they in my DMs, it's because I'll be doing a project and I'll be fucking it up, and somebody will send me DMs on how to do something differently or how to do it correctly, and that's where I get most of my education. Is literally my followers.
Wow.
So through that and like just being in and around everything sailing, my life has been consumed by this. So just being in and around it, I've just picked up things from all different places. Um, and yeah, if that answers your question, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely
Yeah.
does. Yeah, that is funny. You'll like post something and people will reach out and just be like, "Hey man, you don't want to do that. You're going to burn your boat down."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The tricky part is though, some people don't know what they're doing, so they'll tell you. So you get contradicting things that come in,
Oh,
and so it
yeah.
makes me have to like I have to like really look into it because, dude, I don't read directions. I don't even YouTube stuff anymore. I wing it, man. Like I wing it. The electrical stuff gets really, really difficult. Um, but yeah, I wing it, and it's worked out so far. And I've learned enough for a lifetime of learning, and it's all going in one ear and out the other.
Oh, I'm sure you're
But
retaining it, man. Yeah, that's
yeah,
that. I can imagine you're definitely learning a lot doing build. You definitely learn a lot working on a boat.
yeah, yeah. I've learned a ton.
Yeah.
Which has been really cool. It's certainly built my confidence with the boat. Like, there's not a corner of this boat that I am not familiar with. And if something goes wrong, I'll know exactly, or I'll, at least with all the work that I've done, I'll have a really good understanding of how to find what the issue is. If it's something that needs to be found, or if I start taking on water, I'll know exactly where to look, sort of thing. So it's definitely built my confidence, all this work for the passage because of how familiar I got with my boat. Like when I first got my boat, I was almost like upset with myself that I didn't get a boat that was ready to go. Like there,
Yeah.
I almost got a boat for 70,000, and that if I had gotten that boat for 70,000 that I was looking at, it was fully. It got hit by lightning and it had been completely rewired, and it was completely ready to go for offshore sailing. I would have got that boat, and I would have, because I'm super impulsive, I would have left it immediately, and I was frustrated that I didn't get that. I didn't get the boat because somebody else did, but I was frustrated that I didn't get it, and frustrated that I had to put all this work into this boat. But in hindsight, I wouldn't. In hindsight, I wouldn't want it any other way because it's just taught one. It's just taught me so much, and then taught me everything about this boat. So which has given me a lot of confidence for the passage.
Yeah, I mean, especially if, you get in a hairy situation, you got to troubleshoot right off the fly,
Yeah,
If you had that, boat that was already built to your specs or whatever specs you wanted it at, you'd be like, where do I start? You'd
yeah,
be
exactly. I wouldn't have, dude. I've done all sorts of little running. I've replaced every single hose in this boat,
Wow.
and from the bow to the stern, every hose, ton of wires, and just doing that has really, yeah, really tuned me in with the boat. So yeah,
Yeah. No, I definitely get where you're coming from there. Oliver, thanks for coming. Thanks for being on the show.
yeah, yeah, man. Thanks for having me, dude. It was a good time. Good luck with those edits.
Good luck with
uh,
the crossing. We'll be
yeah.
following you. And do you want to tell people how to find you or how to follow you?
Oh yeah, sailing with Phoenix is my handle for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you are interested in numbing your mind, feel free to feel free to go check it out. you know,
All right,
so
man. Well, look
yeah,
forward to watching you and keeping track of all your travels. Take it easy.
thanks, dude. Yeah, you too, man. Thank you.